My name is Victor Violin. I'm a project manager with Hatch Limited. I'm located in our Mississauga office and presently office manager here in our Sudbury office. For a lot of young people, I think you naturally go into engineering probably because you're good at math and sciences. So when you look at the opportunities for somebody that's good at math and sciences, usually there's two roads you can consider taking, and one is more of a theoretical road and one is more of an applied road in what you can do. For me, I wanted nothing to do with the theory and further research and development. I was very much interested in the application of math and science. And it became a pretty quick decision for me to decide that engineering was the place for me. Engineering. Civil engineering, which is very broad, but a specialty in structural engineering. I never really thought of changing fields. Within engineering, or within the civil discipline, I did change. I have to admit that when I started first year, structural engineering was the least interesting thing that I could think of, and I was probably more inclined towards water management, hydrology, and etc. By the time I'd gone through a few co-op terms, it became obvious to me that I was better and more passionate about building structures. I do want to say something about co-op education first. A lot of what I ended up doing in my career was based on the opportunities and also lack of opportunities that I experienced in my co-op program. If nothing else, co-op helps a student to decide what they don't want to do, and that pretty much narrows you down to the options that you really want to honestly pursue when you do graduate. So through the course of my co-op terms, it became very apparent to me that I wasn't really interested in certain types of employment. I wasn't interested in commercial work or residential work or municipal work. I also wasn't interested in working directly for any government body. So that pretty quickly put me into industry, and heavier industry as a start. And then from there it became a question of, well, do you work with the heavy industrial companies, or do you work in consultancy for those same companies? So my career path started off with working directly with, it was a mining company in this case, and I was an employee, a staff engineer for 4 years with a mining company. And then after, I guess, things change in mining companies especially, but I mean all industry reacts to the economies of the time. It became obvious that mining companies in particular, over time, start investing less and less in their own engineering departments, and more into having engineering provided as a service. So for me, I was not interested in managing consultants. I was still very much interested at the time in doing design work. So I left being part of the client team and joined consultancies. So the company that I'm with now, Hatch, is my second consultancy that I've worked with in my career. And I've been with Hatch now for 28 years. And I wouldn't cross the street to do it for somebody else. I very much enjoyed being in a consultancy, very much enjoyed being in this particular company, and I would highly recommend it, and love to speak to anybody else about doing the same. I think the biggest opportunity probably was it was almost boundless and limitless, if I can say that. It gave me the opportunity to grow as a person from a very detail-oriented design engineer into, more in the project management space that I'm in today. It allowed me to develop a lot of communication skills. So where you come out of university and you're very technically astute, engineering and the path that I was fortuitous to have allowed me to grow as a person and as a leader. It allowed me to experience a multitude of clients, a multitude of industrial applications. In my case, mostly in the mining and metal sphere, but still there's a lot of aspects to that. It allowed me to travel. So I've worked in many different locations, many different cultures, and have enjoyed all that has been. So for me, I've never seen engineering to pigeonhole me or confine me to what opportunities are before me. It was very much an open page for me. I think, I guess, a bit of the recipe that I've always said to younger engineers, I think it's extremely important to have a technical basis as a beginning. Focus the initial part of your career on really developing your technical skills in a discipline. Be very good at it, and then I think at the end of that, you have a career choice of staying very technically oriented and becoming more towards a subject matter expert in a technical field, or moving more into the leadership management aspect of engineering, engineering management, project management, or even into lateral things like project controls, for example, and estimating and scheduling, etc. It's important that no matter what you do, you have a good technical base, because it's immediate credibility for you and whatever you do later, that you can fall back on a technical base, and you can withhold any engineering argument from a technical perspective, even if you're in project management at the time. Mm-hmm. But I think it's important that when you come to that transition point in your career and you make a decision, there's different skill sets that come with that. And probably the most important skill set, I think, for an engineer is communication. So as you move through your career, whether you're still in the technical field, or you're into more of a managerial, operational, organizational field, how you represent yourself, how you represent the problem, the situation, how you form teams around analysis and solutions, how you communicate things and report things is extremely important. Engineering quickly becomes more of a 80% communication, 20% technical side of any person. So the most important thing you can do in the end is work on your communication skills. Enjoy it. I would say to an engineering student, generally take advantage of every opportunity you're given. So if you're given if you have no experience or I was fortunate to come with some of my answers, some of my questions answered before I actually started my career. But if you don't have questions that are answered yet, then take every chance you can. Work for this industry, work for that client, work for this government, if a company asks you to travel, I would always say, go while you can. Pre-marriage, or without kids, or whatever your state is in life, make the best of it. Try to make an opportunity to travel, because there's so much, especially in this globalized world that we live in now. There's so many opportunities and so many variations on how things get done. You quickly shelter yourself if you only know something very local. And try different aspects of engineering. If you're a structural engineer, learn a bit about piping and pumping, as an example. Designers that can multitask in a small consultancy office are worth their weight in gold, because they can do many different things. Don't limit yourself to only what you are comfortable with. The whole idea of engineering is innovation, and a lot of that means have the comfort in the unknown. So try things that maybe sound too abstract or too foreign to you, and explore.
Good, nice.